Thank you for staying tuned. It is still the conversation here on Lagos Television, and it's okay.
What did you just do?
All right, now.
We can do this because we have one of our own with us. Continue. Continue.
Right now, we'll be discussing with immediate past chairperson Nawoj Lagos chapter, chatting with a Lagos Amazon. She is also a friend of the house. She is one of us, and that is Adeola Ekine. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. It's so good to be here.
Thank you for joining us today. So,
Thank you.
Just yesterday was the handing over. So just take us through, how was the experience like being the chairperson of Nawoj, and what are some of the lessons that you have learned?
Okay. So I'll say, looking back the last 6 years, it has been a learning journey for me, leading over 500 female journalists in Lagos State. And of course, you know that we are already in a male-dominated profession. And to really make our mark, we have to go an extra mile. So basically, for me, 6 years has been, one lesson is to be a leader is service, is a thankless job. And majorly is something that you really want to do for you to actually lead successfully. And of course, I didn't do it alone, you know. I had ESCO members to work with. I had my own base, that's the Lagos State Ministry of Information and Strategy, behind me all through the 6 years. I had other elders, I had mentors that actually helped me through the process. So for me, it was kind of easy, but I've never done it before. And my first tenure, the election was very turbulent. So I saw the reason for me to not disappoint the people that had that trust in me. So looking at that, it gave me the opportunity to really want to do something extra. And I believe in the last 6 years, Nawoj Lagos is more visible. A lot of people don't even know about Nawoj before now. But in the last 6 years, we have more members. We are more visible even in the media. And we have done a whole lot of things, I mean, that we can point to that this and this and this are our achievements.
Okay, I want to agree with you that, you know, as women in a male-dominated profession, you have to, you know, take the extra or make extra effort to be known, to be seen, to be heard. You just didn't start as a Nawoj chairperson.
Okay.
Let's go back to your early journey and, you know, tell us what inspired you into the media profession.
Okay.
Itself.
I finished from Adeola Girls Grammar School. And of course, you know, our parents always want us to be either doctor or a lawyer. And mine actually wanted me to be a doctor.
Oh, really?
And I knew that I was not very good in math. I cleared my WAEC, and the first to just go to science class. And I knew that I would not perform in science class. So I went to art class, collected the list of books. They always give us list of books.
Yes.
And when my dad came during visiting day, I gave him the list of books. He was expecting to see physics, chemistry. He was seeing literature in English, government.
History.
They advised that it's better because of the weakness I had in maths. Just go for arts. And I was like, okay, I really wanted to study theater arts. And of course, our parents were like, theater arts. Motele is to be a dancing cultural dance. You're not serious. You're not serious. It's cultural dance. And that is it. Theater arts. So what is close to theater arts? And of course, literature and English has always been my best subject in school. Then we had Africa for Africa, my Africa Proud Warriors. The poems. And so it's, so I just felt mass comm will be something that, I mean, I always love to speak, but the theater art has always been around. When I do the mass comm, I'll still go and do theater art. Unfortunately, I couldn't do the theater art anymore. So I studied theater art at Ogun State Polytechnic.
Or mass
communication. Oh, sorry. I studied mass communication. I studied mass communication.
You still have to go for that.
I studied mass communication. OND and HND, Egu State Polytechnic, and I also did my PGD, Advert and Public Relations, Nigeria Institute of Journalism. I went back to University of Lagos to study Mass Comm again, back to my BSc.
Okay.
And of course, before then, I entered the Lagos State Government, Ministry of Information and Strategy, and I've gone to various ministries, worked in their public affairs department, from Ministry of Housing, Ministry of Information. We started from there. We always have a newsroom. That's where when you are green, you will go to the newsroom. So that's the training ground for all of us. Then they start moving us out. So I think it's from there I worked under a lot of directors that tutored me to always want to write. There was a time I wrote a press release. Mr. Ogundeji, the present Director of Public Affairs, I didn't see any biro. I probably just 1 or 2 mistakes. I said, Oga, that means I'm very good though, because you cannot give my Oga a press release. In fact, at the end of the day, when you collect it, you'll be like, let me just go and rewrite, because where will I start correcting it? So I think that was where I actually got the so NUJ, Lagos Information Chapel, is my chapel. I was the sitting secretary. Later I became the vice chairman of the Lagos Information Chapel before becoming the Nawoj chairperson. So I grew from the start of,
Okay. So as Nawoj chair for 6 years, the relationship between the Lagos Nawoj and other states Nawoj chapels, as well as the national Nawoj, the strength, the synergy, did that also contribute to the success of your tenure? Okay, or your tenure, since you used to tenure.
Okay, I would say, you see, Lagos we are the largest, and they recognize us more at the national level now. I've worked with, 2 presidents of Nawoj for the 6 years, and the transition is been nice. But the fact is that other states, they look up to Lagos. I mean, of course, we also have the largest number of media houses here in Lagos. Their headquarters are here in Lagos. So if we have any event or any kind of thing, if Lagos is not there, it's like, and most of them, you'll be shocked that they've never even been to Lagos before. So they see Lagos as like the little
mini London.
So when we have events in maybe Nasarawa, Kano, Kaduna, and you get there, and you know, with the Lagos swag, I mean, anywhere you enter, they'll be like, Lagos chair is here. They want to listen to what you have to say. And if you don't have anything to say, it's like, they've really put you up there. So you have to be on your toes at every point in time. Always have to, so in fact, there are some states. I remember Kano State, they called me from there for an interview, a radio interview with the chairperson. She was speaking Hausa, so I was actually speaking English. So, I mean, it was during, is it International Women's Day or something, like 2 or 3 years ago. So, I mean, sometimes they even call to ask Lagos chair, okay, how did you do that program? It's easier for them there to get funding, but it's not here. And yes, we are having more events. And they're like, Lagos chair, how are you doing it? And I'll give advice sometimes on, it's not, most of the time, excuse me, it's not about the money, it's about using what you have, the internal mechanism. There are people that can actually come and speak to you, and it will be well covered. You don't have to pay. Because they're journalists.
Sorry about that. All right. Still staying with you, I'm still talking about the fact that the Lagos has strength in number. You also, during your tenure, introduced so many things. You had many trainings, you had partnerships with various organizations, and you did say here that, you know, everything isn't about money. Sometimes it's about connection. Sometimes it's about you've done this for this person and they see this as an opportunity to also just give back to Lagos Nawoj. How were you able to break through some of those into those organizations that seemed like, what are you saying? Or what is Nawoj all about? Or why did they see the need to also partner with you, especially with the training of female journalists?
Okay, I would say we partnered with not only local organizations, even international. We partnered with ICPSP, Institute of Public and Corporate Sector Professionals in UK. We had, I don't know if I can mention names, but we had a whole lot of them. And the agreement is you train us, and we cover your events.
Okay.
There's no money exchange. Nobody is there to lose. We are going to gain and you are going to gain. They want to be known. So you train us. I remember during COVID, we were working from home. And I'm like, we need to do something. Then I started with empowerment of female journalists. Let them have streams of income, multiple income. So I contacted friends that we went to school together that are entrepreneurs. Some are caterers, some are tailors, so I just called them together. Let's train members of Nawoj. Nose mask, it's words. In fact, over 200 or 300 of our members were trained. Virtually though. And we did video, they were training them on nose mask, then air bonnet, various things. I believe that, you see, for me, it is what you have that you can give.
Right.
And you need to also think out of the box. If you take money, I'm not saying you can't do things with money. You don't, of course, you cannot really plan without money.
Right.
But money should not be the first thing for you to. So if you look at your internal mechanism, for instance, my friend here, Bimbo, has come to one of our congresses to talk to us, to train us, because she's one of us. She will not say I should bring money.
But I can ask you to bring money.
You can't say and it was so well attended, everybody had fun, and they gained something. So for me, I don't ignore any kind of connection. Anywhere I go to, relationship matters. Right. Anywhere I go to, I talk, I chat, I look at what can I gain from here. Okay, so I sell pap, and are you the one making the pap? Can you come and train us on how to make it? It's something. Come and train us, and then you come and sell it for free. Then you train us on how to do it.
That would be a win-win situation.
That would be one of my achievements. So that is it. So that was how I was able to leverage on various connections, various collaborations. In fact, I have over 8 organizations, apart from the ones in UK, Google. They've been here to train us. Wikimedia, and we still have that connection and collaborations. My belief is that the new executive will take it up from where we stopped.
Okay. The Nawoj Daycare is your initiative. Once you hear Nawoj Daycare, you're like it. You know, at what point did you think this is what, was essential for women in this industry?
Yes, that is my baby. And what brought that up was every August we celebrate World Breastfeeding Month.
Okay.
We always advocate for breastfeeding mothers. Working mothers should breastfeed exclusively for 6 months and all of that. How easy will that be if I have to be at work and my baby is at home? Of course, some of us didn't even do exclusive breastfeeding. It's not because we don't want to. It was because as at that time, there was nothing to support us to be able to do that and achieve that. So I now thought that beyond us talking about, we will do work. We start from here. Your people will join us now. We always walk around, breastfeed. And I'm like, instead of us talking about it, what can we do to make people know that, okay, you are talking about exclusively breastfeeding your baby. How can you be part of that development and growth? And I thought, okay, why not let's have something, a place conducive for working mothers to come during lunch, breastfeed their baby, and then go back. Their mind will be at their
rest,
work.
right.
Their mind will be at rest that, okay, my baby is somewhere. Sure. You can quickly dash from your office to the daycare, breastfeed, and then you go back to your workstation. That was what brought that up then. And it's been over 4 years that we started that, and we still have babies. We keep having babies. We want more babies actually, because some of our babies have gone. They've started school. So we need more, because we don't have much now. We have about 4 or 5. We need more babies to come in.
So people should start giving babies.
Please do. That's actually where I'm going to. Exactly. And my eyes is on you.
Come on, busy, come on, resi.
So when we look at the media industry of today, how much ground do you think the females have taken?
Honestly, we're trying, but you see, for me, I still believe that there's still a little bit of discrimination in our field when it comes to male and female. Thank God for LTV. We are all women on this set. I'm very proud.
But when they address us, You say gentlemen.
And I always talk about
the press.
You know, I always talk about that too, because I say it should be gentlemen and ladies of the press. The gentlemen of the press for me is also discrimination.
It's discrimination.
You can't call me a man. I'm not a man.
I'm not a man. Yeah.
So when I want to say gentlemen and ladies of the press, and when I told one of the leaders one time that, why are you always saying no? Because in journalism, we believe that everybody is gentleman, everybody is a man. I am not a man.
Nawoj. There's no gentleman.
I'm not a man. So it's gentlemen and ladies of the press. Then I believe that, you know, when we are not regarded as colleagues, it's like when we want to share bits, for instance, they would say there are some bits that are not female friendly. Some bits, no, women cannot cover it. Oh, it's only men. Who told you? We went to school together. We saw this same mass come now. It's not like when we were doing exam, they put us separately and say, no, you can be teaching yourself. And in most cases, and I'm not being, we all, females.
Please blow our trumpets.
I don't want to be like
please do.
But we always come out tops.
Yeah.
In school. When it's time to share bits, can you just share it according to what I can deliver, according to my performance, and not because I'm a lady, and not because I'm pregnant. If I cannot do it, I would not be in the profession. So for me, I believe we are still not being given the kind of opportunity I would expect them to give us. It's not the same way it used to be, but it can be better.
It can be better. Adeola, let me stay with you on that story and then just, you know, play the devil's advocate here. Sometimes also you hear things like, oh, but the women themselves, when you give them certain bits, they do not deliver what they should do. Women also hide under, you know, the guise of different things. So sometimes we're guilty as charged. And so as much as we're saying this morning that, you know, share these things equally, can we also speak to the conscience of the women and the ladies to also do right by the profession? Nobody begged you to come here. So if you want to be treated equally, you also need to be fair and square, and you also need to, even though sometimes you need to, you know, walk twice to again let your supervisors know that I am capable. And so the women themselves, especially the fact that you also led Nawoj, are these also part of the things that, you know, you were able to psych into the minds of the women, that if you're advocating for equal opportunities or equal rights, are you also doing what you should be doing? Are you also at par with your male counterparts?
Okay, so yes, I believe that you know, as women, we are the ones that will get pregnant, we'll go for maternity leave, we are the ones that will take our babies for immunization. Those are time out of the office. Those are times that, but of course, that's the way God created it. I would have loved it for it to be men that will get pregnant, you know, and then, you know,
switch of roles.
Switch of roles. If God can just do it for one day, you know,
there will not be chaos in this world.
You know, so that's the way God created it. We didn't bring that upon ourselves, but that doesn't take out the fact that we have women that actually take excuses sometimes. Even as a woman, you'll be like, kilo day, kilo day. You know, today, if the husband is not ill, the husband is taking injection, they are going for immunization, the baby is having temperature due to the immunization. When you know you're supposed to give paracetamol before taking the baby to immunization to avoid some things. And we know some of these things sometimes are lies. It's just, so I'm not saying that a lot of women don't use that opportunity
to also evade duties.
But the fact is that we know that for us to advocate for things like this, for them not to be like, we have people that don't even take excuses. I have people that bring their babies to work so that they can be at that work post. I won't give example.
I know.
You know. So it is very important.
I don't know who you know.
I should know somebody.
You know, somebody that we both know. You know. And they will be at their workstation as at when due.
Yes.
So for us to be able to, when I said I started from the fact that we are in a male-dominated profession. If you're in a male-dominated profession, you have to do extra. For you to get. There are some people that Saturdays and Sundays they are working, and it's not like they don't have a home. They have a home. They have a family. They've taken care of everything, and that God gave us that power to multitask a lot. So because we have that power, we can do 100 things at the same time. So we can also use that positively towards our jobs. You can be here right now and thinking about, oh, what am I going to cook? I'm thinking of going to the, how do I go? I want to bring out something out of the freezer. Inside your mind, I know what is in your mind. I know what's
We're all thinking of.
and we are all here upset, and we are still communicating and informing the public. So that is it.
Okay. From what you have just said, some people will say, "Madalu, kilo mo."
I know.
I'd like you to, share your experience to, when you two were at that stage, how you were able to navigate. Of course, there were challenges. I'd like you to share all of that.
They have asked an important question. Let me answer now.
Go ahead.
Stop bullying me. Okay. Yes, then I would say I had support.
Star! I call her husband Star.
I would say I had support. My mother-in-law was with me all through. Then my mom was also always available. But my mother-in-law stayed with me all through. I didn't experience... I only gave birth to my last child in service.
I thought you were going to leave that out.
In service, when I was in Ministry of Housing. And, a lot of people didn't know I was pregnant until towards the time I delivered. I was still coming to work. It got to a stage, my boss said, "Adeola, need lati wa." What will I be doing at home? I will still wear my suit and still talking and everything. I have to come until I put to bed. A lot of people were like, was the PRO pregnant? And I stayed, then it was a 3 months leave. I stayed 3 months. I started expressing so that I'll put in the bottle for her to start feeding from the bottle. So it will be new. Unfortunately for me, this child of mine decided to prefer the bottle to the real thing. And my mother will be like, just put it. It takes time. Then we don't have this.
We don't have this to express.
We don't have it. Now you have to do like this. It's like 2, 3, 4 hours. I'm still there, and the thing that will come out will just be something very tiny. I'm like, what kind of wild is this? And I was like, Mama, can I cuckoo stop? Say it's okay. She doesn't even want. Fine. I'm not saying please breastfeed your babies exclusively.
There are some babies that are just
my own case was just a paper. So that gave me time, and I resumed after 3 months. You won't even know that. And that was it. But it's not everybody that have that kind of support system, and we always encourage our partners to. During that period, it's not still going to be ha ha ha. We need help. We need support, because you still wake up in the night to take care for the children. In the morning you are doing their lunch pack and everything. It's not something that can be done alone. Sometimes we are always doing my Superman. Let us ask for help. We do, and there are other ways to get help that it will not affect our jobs.
Okay. I think at this time, let's bring it down and quickly talk about a few socials about you, Adeola. How do you unwind? What's more?
Because you asked the question.
I asked the question.
That unwind there. Me, I party hard though.
The girl.
I party hard.
It's so obvious.
Okay, ignore the blinks, Jerry.
Apart from the blinks.
Ignore the blinks.
You are very vibrant.
I party hard.
Life of a party.
When that time comes, with my close circle, I let loose. Very close, very few close circle, I let loose.
You let loose.
Very, very loose. Please explain the loose.
I let loose.
Please, what is the meaning of I let loose? I didn't go to school.
Party hard. Google it.
So where did you grow up?
Then we now moved to Alimosho.
Okay.
But I was in the boarding house all through.
Okay. Let's talk about the kind of music that you love.
Okay, so that's actually going to be funny to you. I have two. Can I mention the two?
Why not?
The Yoruba. You will look at me. I'm very tush actually.
Say so.
But I love Fuji. You know, there's that kind of beats that You don't understand.
Don't understand.
Just make you lose your manners, all your upbringing.
I wanted to mention him.
I don't mean
that's it.
That's it. Look at you. Oh, sorry, you're on air.
Okay.
So I loved for Yoruba Salawa Beni. Then Pasuma gets me with some,
Some, you know, with
some
some horror.
some bedu kind of things.
You have to share.
Chai.
You have to share. You know these things. You can't just talk about them. We have to feel.
It's some bedu kind of things. You know, yeah. So that's the kind of music I like.
With your inner.
My very close circle.
Okay.
You are part of the circle.
Adeola, confess your sins.
Do I know you? I don't know you. At all. I don't know you. I mean, Joy, who asked where you grew up in Lagos? Joy asked where you grew up in Lagos. You said Surulere and, you know, Limosho. So those areas, you know, even though you were in the boarding house, you came home from time to time. Did those areas sharpen, or did they have any impact on, you know, your understanding or your perception about life?
Actually, you know, I grew up in a Muslim home. My Muslim name is Taibat. Alaja, and you know that kind of home that from Sundays. I was actually the is it financial secretary of our Adian. Adian is the youth wing of Ansarudi. That's what we call the Adian. Yeah. So my dad then was the chairman of the mosque. So you are perceived as a more chairman. You know that kind of. So you have to like cover up. But when I get home, we'll remove the cover, and my dad will not still say anything about it, you know. And for me, he was strict, but not so strict when it comes to religion. Not so strict when it comes to.
They weren't that so strict.
Then
at that time, they were
at that time,
liberal.
they were actually liberal. So for me, I would say the area shaped me, but most importantly is actually my parents, especially my mom. My mom is the typical African mother, and when I say that, I'm sure that it goes for all your moms.
Yes,
you know, the mom that you cannot let this. Okay, let's go there. Now they will call it abuse. But that is what made me who I am. If she was not that
Strict. Or she was not.
Because I was a very good, I won't say the other one, child.
Where everything was a tool to correct
Everything.
They can throw like
anything.
anything.
To buy anything.
That is
Just
it.
take it.
Those kind of things.
But it's abuse, though. Come to think of
Call
it.
it abuse now.
It shaped
It
Call it
shapes.
abuse at that time. You could not call it abuse. Maybe now if you look at it, say they abused us.
Do you know at that time, I don't even know, at what point were we kind of depressed with all those things?
Depressed decay.
They will beat the depression out of you.
May God help you. I say you don't want to
You
eat.
can't even think.
They beat you finish. You say you don't want to
My
eat.
real mother.
Yes, now me.
There
I
was
have
a
question.
time, there was a time I said I was not
Mother will
going
come
to
and
eat.
pick you.
And like, from morning, my mom was going and pass and say, come and beg me now, because I was hungry. Like, she should just beg and say, Diola, she said, Talo Feje. I was like, this food. We shall have one power.
Okay. I'm sure a lot of people would also, you know, have been meaning to ask you. You have dreads on.
Yes.
How long have you had your dreads, and what inspired it?
17 years. It's actually very long. What inspired it then was I
The
felt
duration or the length of the hair.
the
17
duration.
years,
I've
duration.
been growing it for 17 years.
I'm sure it's like bottom.
Yeah, I
length
sit on
now.
it. It's actually very
You
long.
can sit on it.
I just got tired of thinking of what to do every week. Then it was Ghana weaving that was raining. You will not do the Ghana weaving.
The front end natural.
Then we fix. And I felt I'm tired. So I went on low cut at the point. Then later, I just went on dreads. I pour water on it. It's so light.
Okay, your surname doesn't sound Taibat or Yoruba or, you know. How did your parents, you know, receive the news when you said you were moving beyond the Yoruba Muslim?
I traveled
background.
far.
Okay.
And the first thing my dad said was, in his words, Diola. Abẹ́òkúta. Kò sí Ìbàdàn. Okay. Ìjẹ̀bú even. Ondo. Ekiti. Biti mi léèyàn. Wá cross 7 seas. It was war. But eventually, because my husband grew up in the Southwest and speaks Yoruba very well, I think that won him over.
Okay.
But not without a Nikai.
Oh,
Not
that was a
without
Nikai.
a huge Nikai to start with. They gave him name. They gave him a Muslim name. But if you don't want to do, it's okay. I'm not even, it's okay. So we will do. Maybe I don't want to come and giving a Port Harcourt prince. Yoruba name, not even Yoruba name, Muslim name. He took it.
Because there was a reason.
There was a reason.
So, before we wrap up this conversation this morning,
Let's end it now.
what up? We're enjoying you now. How supportive has your husband and your children been on this journey, especially during your tenure as Nawoj chair? Because of course you had to travel, you had to leave the home, and so how was it?
I mean, I would give all the success to my family, especially my husband. He's a PR man. He corrects my speeches, and I'm sure sometimes when I talk on her, he will be like, "Look, Martin, she buy in June. Relax." I don't do it. You just come back. Sometimes when I remember, I'll be like, but like it's just me. And my kids are grown, so they understand now. When I'm not home, I mean, they can take care of themselves actually. So it's
Are they in boarding school too?
No, I have 2 final year students. One is actually doing masters, the other one is in his finals, and another one is about to enter the university. So I think that also gave me a time to be able to attend to traveling all the time. And my husband the first thing is, if I didn't have that support, if the home front is not peaceful, then I can't deliver anything. Right. He is my #1 cheerleader. And my kids are saying, "Mommy, don't." So now that finished, what will now happen?
We are not at home.
Hello, are they? Nothing again.
There will be peace in this house now.
Okay, what advice would you give to young media or women who aspire to be in this profession?
Be responsible. Be responsible. Whatever you do with your conscience. They've tagged women different names, especially in our profession. Yeah. If we are not sleeping with another person, we are here, we are this one. And most importantly, they don't see anybody that succeeds or that a successful woman that is not backed up by something. They don't see us as brilliant. They don't see us as bringing anything to the table. So for us, just stand out. Let them know you for who you are. Let them know you. I'm saying so to lead over 500 female women. Women know in Lagos. Sometimes you need a little bit of,
a little bit of.
A little bit. But most importantly, stand up, speak out. Let them hear your voice. Anywhere, no matter anything you want to say, let them hear. And then your head held high.
All right. I'm sure we'd have to leave it here, but in 30 seconds, there's a new ESCO in place. What's your charge for them?
Well, they should build on what we have done. They should not bring down the momentum. I wish them all the best. I will be available for advice or anything. I'm
a phone call away. All right, we'll take a quick break. The conversation returns shortly.